Hello everybody. Today I wanted to talk about a very interesting topic, and so we talk a lot of things, all nutrition and fitness, but today I really want to talk about more of your mind and some of the behaviors and things that go on. I have been devouring one of Tony Robbins' books, and I just couldn't help but bring this message to everyone here today, because I think one of the biggest things a lot of us struggle with is more of our behaviors and the pain versus pleasure associated, and not necessarily what we intelligently know. We know that we may not need to eat the piece of chocolate, or that a piece of chocolate may be bad for us, but we still go for it. And why? What's happening? And he talks a lot about how it's more about how we're wired, and the pain versus pleasure. And we know that if we reach for that chocolate, we're going to get that pleasure from having something sweet, the sugar, the way it sends signals into our brain. We associate it with a good feeling, and we feel like, man, if I don't have that, I'm gonna have deprivation, or I'm not, the emotions that are gonna be linked is I want to have that and I'm going to have it type of thing. And it's really interesting how that drives us. He's really talks about the pain versus pleasure in this part of the book that I'm reading, and I thought it would be a good message to bring to you today, because change is something that we know we need to make, especially when we're headed down a health and wellness journey. We understand that we're gonna have to make some changes, and sometimes those changes don't feel so good, and sometimes we're scared. We're scared of what it's gonna look like to make that behavior change. But the really cool thing that I want to empower you with today is you are in control. You're in control of what you put in your mouth, in your body, and how it's going to fuel your body. And I looked at it that way as, man, this is really empowering, and using food to be our fuel and what we need to ultimately see the results we want. It's frustrating though, because we don't take control, and we sometimes give in to that moment of pleasure. And so I wanted to bring this message to you today, because a lot of our health and wellness goals come back to the behaviors that we do day in and day out. We know reasonably, or we're intelligent enough to understand this is good versus that, but we don't necessarily do it. And kind of why does it happen that way? And it's honestly, we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned to eat a certain way. We feel a certain way when we see or smell a certain food, and that's something that you almost have to rewrite. But the good thing is you can rewrite in your brain how a certain food makes you feel. When we're trying to break a habit, such as maybe biting your nails, we even go to the extent of painting stuff on your nails that tastes bad, so that the thought process is that you'll stop biting your nails. For some people, I think that's been a successful strategy. For other people, it's not. If we could maybe get someone to slap your hand when you reach for something that you know you shouldn't have, maybe that would be helpful. But all kidding aside, we want to really associate the behaviors and the changes that we're going to have to make. This is no different when we stay in bad relationships, when we know that this relationship is not serving us best, yet we keep going back, or we attract the same type of person. It's because this is the way you're wired, and sometimes you have to override your thinking. You have to rewrite or reprogram the computer or your brain. And so it's something that takes intentional effort. I think it takes writing down that plan. And I wanted to bring this message to you today, because it's an important thing to just be empowered that you're in control. No matter what you're trying to do as far as a goal, you're in control. The behaviors you're going to have to do may be a little bit different than what you've been doing day in and day out, and that's part of it. And you'll get past this moment of pain to then ultimately you'll feel a different sort of pleasure or excitement or positive feeling from the outcome, because it's really cool to see when people start getting all the pieces in place as far as doing the exercise that it takes for them and eating the nutrition the way they know they need to eat. It's really cool to see things all fall together. We're right in the middle of our transformation challenge, and I cannot tell you how exciting it is to see everyone's results and people just following the steps it takes. Some of us, some of the challengers, it's taken a couple weeks to really get things dialed in, but it's really neat to hear how everybody's just putting all the tools together. So if you ever need help or you're not quite sure where to start or how to make these changes, because man, making change, it's hard. We resist it. Some people thrive in that type of environment, but a lot of people resist making the changes that they know they need to take to ultimately see the results. It comes back to the pain associated with making that change. But I promise you this, once you make that change and you start really feeling good, when food is really fueling your body and you feel good, it is contagious. You will want that feeling day in and day out, and it's almost contagious. So let's rewrite the brains, let's get inside this and help reduce the pain that's associated with the changes you need to make to ultimately live the best life for you. If you need help, shoot me a message, leave me a comment. I'll get a notification, give me a call, shoot me an email. Just would love to help you, because this isn't easy. It's not easy, but we have the tools to help you navigate, and will help give you the motivation and accountability that you need. So thanks for listening in here today, and I hope you're having an awesome day, guys. See ya.